Welcome to the lesson, Overheat Detection System. The aircraft is fitted with an overheat detection system to prevent damage following a leak in the air supply system. The protected areas are the engine pylons, parts of the wing's leading edges, the wing trailing edges, the fuselage spine, the tail plane, and the air conditioning bay. The engine pylons are divided into two zones. Zone 1 is the area from the engine customer bleed port to the pre-cooler. Zone 2 is in the area between the pre-cooler and the rear of the pylon. The areas of the aircraft through which hot air is ducted are divided into two zones, the left zone and the right zone. The left zone includes Pylon 1, Zone 2, and Pylon 2, Zone 2, the left wing trailing and leading edges, and the left side of the spine. The right zone includes Pylon 3, Zone 2, and Pylon 4, Zone 2, the right wing trailing and leading edges, and the right side of the spine. Pylon overheat. A hot air leak in any pylon Zone 1 will illuminate the respective pylon overheat annunciator on the central warning panel. The fire warning light in the respective thrust lever will also light. If the leak is after the engine air valve, closing the valve will stop the leak. If the leak is before the engine air valve, the leak can only be stopped by shutting the engine down. Left or right zone high temperature. Air can only enter the left or right zones through the engine air valves or the APU air valve. If tail anti-ice is being used, it is also possible for air to transfer from the opposite zone through the tail anti-ice valves. Temperature switches are located in Pylon Zone 2, the wing leading edges, and the spine, and are set to operate at 120 degrees Celsius. The temperature switches only operate effectively in enclosed cavities due to exposure of the hot air ducts to atmosphere along the wing trailing edges, particularly when the flaps are extended. Two parallel overheat detector loops, A and B, are installed on each wing. Selection of Loop A, Loop B, or both loops for each wing is made by the zone temperature detect switches marked left wing and right wing on the air supply panel. The loops are normally selected to both. In this position, both loops must detect an overheat before any indication is given. Each loop may be tested using the Zone Loop A and Zone Loop B buttons on the ground test panel. If a loop fault is detected before takeoff, the serviceable loop may be selected to allow dispatch. An overheat detected in either the left or right zones will illuminate left zone high temp or right zone high temp on the air supply panel. When an overheat condition is detected, the two engine air valves on the affected side will automatically close. If open, the tail anti-ice valve and the wing ice protection valves on the affected side will close. The APU valve will close. The leak will be isolated from all bleed air supplies and the temperature sensors will reset. However, the fault annunciators will remain lit. Rear bay high temperature. At the base of the tail, air supplies are directed into the air conditioning bay to the air conditioning packs. An overheat condition caused by a duct leak in the air conditioning bay will be indicated by rear bay high temp on the air conditioning panel. Temperature switches are located next to each pack, and the system may be tested using the rear bay high temp button on the ground test panel. Tail high temperature. At the rear of the spine, air is directed through the tail anti-ice valves for tail ice protection. If a leak is detected on the tail section, the tail high temp annunciator on the ice protection panel will illuminate, and both tail anti-ice valves will automatically close. A leak detected in this area may be before or after the tail anti-ice valves. If the leak is after the valves, their automatic closure will stop the leak. Electrical smoke. Two AC-powered cooling fans are located in the forward cargo compartment. Air from the fans is exhausted into a cavity in the front cargo compartment past a smoke detector and overboard through the forward outflow valve. The smoke detector warns of electrical smoke or fire in the avionics bay. If smoke is detected, electrical smoke will illuminate on the central warning panel. The smoke detector may be tested by using the smoke button on the ground test panel. A cargo bay fire protection system may be fitted as an option. The system detects smoke or high temperatures in the forward and aft cargo bay. Two extinguishers are provided to suppress a fire. The extinguishers are in the hydraulic bay. An electronic control unit in the avionics bay controls the fire protection system. The cargo smoke panel is just above the engine fire handle. The panel contains all the flight deck controls and indicators apart from the red cargo smoke caption and a test switch. The caption is on the central warning panel. The test switch is on the flight deck ground test panel. Two annunciators on the panel, aft smoke and forward smoke, give warning of smoke or high temperature in the aft or forward cargo bay. When either the aft smoke or forward smoke annunciator illuminates, the central warning panel cargo smoke caption illuminates. Triple chime and red alert lamps flash. Pressing a aft or forward smoke push switch initiates the discharge sequence into the associated bay. One extinguisher discharges its contents within a minute. It is called the high rate discharge, HRD, extinguisher or number 1 extinguisher. The other discharges its contents over a period of 50 minutes. It is called the low rate discharge, LRD, extinguisher or number 2 extinguisher. The system is not designed to fight fire in both cargo bays on the same flight. If the aircraft has an animal bay and there is no cargo bay fire protection system fitted, a smoke detector is installed to the roof of the animal bay. When smoke is detected, an animal smoke caption illuminates on the central warning panel and the ECS is automatically shut down or inhibited. If a cargo bay fire protection system is fitted, a smoke detector is not fitted to the animal bay and there is no animal smoke caption on the central warning panel. The ECS is automatically shut down or inhibited if the forward smoke switch light is pressed. As soon as the AC bus bars are powered, the smoke detector is tested by pressing the Smoke Test button. Elect Smoke and Cargo Smoke will light on the central warning panel while the button is pressed. If the aircraft is not fitted with a cargo bay smoke detector system, but there is an animal bay installed, the animal smoke will light. The detector loops in the left and right zones should be tested. Therefore, both air conditioning packs 1 and 2 and APU air must be switched off. The left zone temperature detect and right zone temperature detect switches on the air supply panel must be set to both. Zone loops test button should be pressed briefly and then released. Zone loops B test button should be pressed briefly and then released, because both temperature detect switches are set to both loops. There should be no left zone high temperature or right zone high temperature warning when each loop is tested individually. The Zone A and Zone B test buttons should then be pressed simultaneously. Both left and right zone high temperature warnings on the air supply panel and the air supply annunciator on the central warning panel will illuminate. When the test buttons are released, all warnings will extinguish.